Fair Buildings and Ground on Thursday?
I don't know.
Oh. I thought, oh,
Huh?
what's, but 1 o'clock I thought it was, but I haven't.
They had
I
a
didn't see
wreck
it.
again? Tony,
Buildings and Grounds.
Wreck.
or was that from last week?
Having their meeting
I think that was from last week.
Thursday or not.
Squad car?
Wait till you see
Oh,
this.
Accident was on here. Yeah, the one over by Point City.
Are you impressed
email?
or what? Look what I did, Bob.
Definite.
No, we do oats.
Made
Bad,
a
I
note.
erased everything the other day. And now it went blank. I see the boys need more than four-wheel drive over there.
No, Twitter is not for me.
Yeah,
Last week I went through there, they had
That
repaired
is one place I can show.
up to the back axle, mowing grass. I don't know what they went in there for. Got my shoulder there. Yeah, the tractor, it looked like a garden tractor sitting in the mud there.
Okay.
They weren't gonna get that outside. They'd
I
get a
see,
record.
Portage County
I over here.
put trees in the ditches.
Oh, they did now,
Yeah,
I'm giving him
for a windbreak,
I
I guess.
suppose. In the ditch, in the middle, or on the side?
In the middle.
That won't help one lane, it'll help the
Look at
northbound, but
this.
won't help the southbound.
They put it on the
800
southbound side, because
Okay.
the wind usually blows from the
Well,
Yes, I am.
west.
I found it
well,
by
they did put
accident.
it on
No,
the
you-
southbound side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They didn't put it in the middle of the roads, two roads. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they used to have a bunch of them up there by Haviland's, but then they took them all out when they started.
Yeah.
When he lost it or sold it or whatever happened to him, he died, didn't he?
Trust me, Max Havlin.
Yeah.
Max Havlin never lost his farm.
Well, he
That
sold
guy-
it,
that
sold
guy
it,
was- that guy before he died was worth millions.
was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Max had
Oh, he
millions.
passed away then, okay. I knew it was something or
Megan?
another.
Stuck on a marsh.
He never left the
Ready
farm,
to
he worked
answer
all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Max did, he was
Get your wheat straw bale.
one of my dad's first customers.
Well, second crop hay.
Traveling
They
to
did
the
get-
city
they did get
resurrect.
Paper shack out there and.
Planned on doing it on a Monday, and.
I knew him when he come from
Well,
Michigan.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine you get their
Now
crop.
they said he'd never make it out there. He used to always say how he would take any mint.
Yeah.
They had to have guards and stuff like that, cause they.
I did too.
I told him I
He
go
knows
over
at
this up
school,
sooner. I
he
might.
must know one of the boys or something from school, and he was
I'll
over
have to start all over. I did mine, did
Oh,
too.
you have to restart them?
Oh, yeah.
on
Now
bait,
swipe it.
cameras and stuff, and
And now he pushes your toes.
he had to, I gotta leave early tonight, he said, I gotta
I had to
cover a side.
have it all
Like
ready
he
to
said.
go.
Should come up with- There you go, right, just like magic. Magic, Jerry.
Way to go, Jerry.
But now you gotta keep swiping it, it'll go off again.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't stay on.
language going on behind you. They're so quick to go off, but so easy to get back on.
Yeah.
Well, they can understand that language.
Maybe so.
Ready to go whenever you.
We're losing our district.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. Mel will do roll call.
Mrs. Krantz? Here. Mr. Heisey?
Here,
Mr. Tim?
Here.
Mr. Cap?
Here.
Mr. Eckstein is excused. Mr. Weddy?
Here.
Mrs. Colada?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Wadel?
Here.
Mr. Rothermouth?
Here.
Mark Kirschner?
Here.
10 present, 1 excused.
All right, we'll stand for silent prayer and pledge allegiance, and let's remember Everett in our prayers because he is recovering from open heart surgery. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
Motion by Weddy, second by Cap. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We need approval of the minutes of the July 18th, 2017 monthly meeting, which were sent to your tablets.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
And a motion back here. Motion by King, second by Bernadette to approve the minutes as printed. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we have no one registered for public comments, but I would like to take this time to let you know that Everett is. He had surgery yesterday morning. Today I talked to Carol and everything went fine, and she hopes they don't send him home till Sunday because she has to be at the fair. No, but once he gets home, he's going to have 24/7 treatment. But he was sitting up in a chair, and they were transferring from ICU to a regular room, which is always good news. And my other thing I have is to thank Katie and the O'Share artists for the great article they did concerning Mount Morris Park, the damage, and I think it's very important that the public saw that, and we really appreciate the artists doing that for us. Thank you. All right, next we are going to move on to unfinished business, which we have none, so we'll go to new business and a report from our county administrator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I sort of joked at the executive committee meeting yesterday, the big news, at least from on my front, is that we are well into budget season, and for government managers and government accountants, it's like Christmas time in that you promise people things, but ultimately you will disappoint them. So that's the process we're going through. I'm going to speak in very broad terms, and I want to preface my remarks by saying what I say here tonight, don't hold me to it. It's not carved in stone. These are just initial impressions. We will get into more details as the process carries out. But what I see is the spending end of county government is pretty much under control. The budgets, the departmental budgets that have been submitted have all been very reasonable with only modest increases, and even those modest increases have been more than justified. The problem that we're probably going to run into making the numbers add up is, as you know, the bulk of our revenue is property tax. And the situation here in Waushara County is we're not experiencing a big residential or commercial building boom. The valuation of real estate in Waushara County is only expected to increase by about 2%, and absent any taxing levy increase, and quite frankly, we're near the limit of where we can be anyway. We are only going to have, with all things being, the status quo being maintained, only about a 2% increase in revenue. The problem that we have is even with our departments keeping things under control, there are certain things they cannot control. As you know, for those of you who work in business owners, the private sector as well as the public sector, probably 70–80% of any business or employer expenses is tied to personnel. We're talking about wages and benefits, and the big benefit that we provide is medical insurance, and our expectation is the increase in the premium will run anywhere from 25 to 40% this year. So even an increase of 2% in revenue will be gobbled up very quickly. So where we're at right now, the numbers are not going to add up. We are going to look at cost savings, efficiencies. I'm looking at the fee structure. Some of the fees that we have not been updated for many years, not even kept pace with inflation. So I want to assure you that we are being very diligent. Ms. Lucchini is here with me as well in the audience. She and I are both working on this, and what we present to you, we will give you a list of options for you to exercise your public policy making authority in approving a budget. So more on that to come. The other thing I wanted to note is that I continue to be impressed with the quality of the leadership of not only you as members of the elected governing body, but also the department directors as managers. So anything that I say that may be critical ranges from mild to at the most moderate criticism. I appreciate the fact I've attended a number of committee meetings. I appreciate the fact that the committees are very active, that you get quite a bit of work done, which means that at these board meetings that everyone has done their homework because you've attended these committee meetings and you know the issues and you've examined those, which makes these board meetings be rather boring, but makes for efficient county government. So I applaud you for that. We have been experiencing some problems with communication. We've had some folks who've missed meetings because of communication. I am looking into that and how the administration communicates with members of the governing body. It probably will require some extra effort on everyone's part so that that's smoother and so that people are able to attend committee meetings. The other thing I want to note is, as I said earlier, much of the work for this body and any legislative body is done at the committee level. It is important that people attend those committee meetings. It's not that skullduggery is going on at these committee meetings, but when people do not attend, it means that a limited number of people are making decisions for the body and for the county as a whole. Many of those decisions involve large purchases, and it's important that everyone's voice be heard. I know all of you are different, but obviously when we make decisions, we want everyone to have input. So I would encourage you to make an effort to attend those meetings. And other than that, everything's just fine. I'm glad to be here. I've not had a single regret. So who knows? Maybe this winter with lots of snow, I may be complaining. But right now, everything's fine. And I thank you. And I thank you for your trust in me and for giving me the honor of serving as the inaugural county administrator. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We're very happy to have you here. And I hope that you all, on Monday morning, Bob sends us a report on, for the week, and I hope that you're all opening that up and reading it, and because it's very, very interesting. All right, next we'll go on to a report by the Human Services, their annual report, Director Dawn Buchholz and staff.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dawn.
Thanks for having us.
Long one.
As you're getting copies of our 2016 annual report, I just would like to have some of our managers right here, and I'd like them to stand up and introduce themselves and what role they play, what programs they oversee for Human Services.
I'm Lindsay Campbell, and I supervise juvenile justice, and the name is now changing to youth justice. You might start hearing that term. I also supervise children's long-term support and registry. My name is Carol Hanaska. I supervise the child protection services unit. I'm Sue Szymanski, and I supervise the alcohol and drug services. I'm Dr. Tori Warren Jones. I supervise outreach for mental health on our community support programs and some of our and Kate Surprise, I manage our academic support team and our long-term support team.
So I just want to give a shout out to all our managers. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our staff, without our managers. This is a lot of different programs, which means a lot of different requirements, all to serve the citizens of Waushara County to the best of our ability, and to meet all the many rules that go along with all those services. So our fiscal agent, our fiscal manager, Michelle Marks, couldn't be here with us tonight, but she is also a very important piece of our puzzle. So I think what we'd like to do is just briefly go through the annual report. I know everyone can read that, but there are quite a few highlights here. So starting off with 171 applications each month is what we averaged in 2016. For those are Waushara County citizens and citizens part of our consortium. We're part of a 9-county consortium that are applications for medical assistance, food share, child care assistance. Those are all state and federal programs that we administer. So for Waushara County, what that means is that approximately 2,700 Waushara County households receive monthly benefits. Example, June of 2017, this last June, we had 4,835 Waushara County recipients, and that's 2,696 adults and 2,139 children. So you'll really see the breadth of poverty here in Waushara County. and what we're trying to serve. These are people that are eligible for the state and federal programs. We also processed 150 applications for emergency assistance. These are folks that are going through some crisis that they just need some brief help, very short help. We always make sure that they have ways to pay the next, so if we help with rent, they have to have a way to pay their next month's rent or have a plan in place, so it's just not giving out funds. And that is actually Salvation Army and United Way funds that we oversee. And we ended up helping 50 individuals with those funds in 2016. Also in 2016, again, just some staggering numbers for how small Waushara County is. 501 consumers for mental health counseling, and that's over 5,000 scheduled mental health counseling appointments. And that's, in addition to that, 315 individuals through outpatient counseling for alcohol and other drug abuse. So again, you can really see some of the issues that we're facing and folks that we're trying to serve. I guess the good point of this is that they're coming for services, which is what we want. Of course, this is a variety of addiction problems ranging from alcohol to heroin. Many individuals are using a number of different drugs we've seen. And we also helped 6 individuals in 2016 by placing them in inpatient treatment. 2016, you'll probably remember that Human Services took over the administration of the Treatment Alternatives and Diversion and Safe Streets program. You probably know that as Drug Court. But that's really a group effort in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department, Circuit Court, District Attorneys, Public Defender, Probation, Parole. In 2016, we served 23 individuals with intensive treatment, and that is intensive. They have to do UAs 5 days a week in the beginning. It's intensive case management. They have rules. They have to have 32 hours weekly of productive either work or job seek or treatment. So it's really a very comprehensive wraparound program. We had 428 calls for residents experiencing personal crises in 2016. All of them required some sort of emergency assistance. We had 527 reports of child maltreatment in 2016, and that's reports of child physical abuse, neglect, sexual abuse, emotional damage, unborn child abuse, at least for the time being. Also in 2016, 32 children were placed or maintained out of their home. And then we broke down what happened to those kids. So you can see 19 were safely returned to their families, 4 remain in out-of-home care, with 2 in the process of going through adoption, or in another 2 with guardianship with grandparents. That's specifically with family. 1 still in a group home. 7 found permanency. So we've did 7 termination of parental rights in 2016, which was quite a few. And all those children are living with their adoptive or pre-adoptive homes. And then, of course, we have our one young lady who is in our level 5 foster home. That is a specific, very intense process. Took 2 years to get that. It is Bernadette and I were able to go see it in person and see our young lady there, which was an experience. It was neat. We moved her out of residential care, and the plan is that this will be her forever home. So it was a home developed around this young lady who has some very serious needs. So that was quite an accomplishment for our department in 2016. We did 123 operating while intoxicated assessments. We did an underage drinking class for 3 youth. We assessed 118 adult protective services referrals. So that is concerns for adults, vulnerable adults, elder abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect, self-neglect, or sexual abuse of vulnerable adults. We also provide ongoing case management, court assessments, reviews, and supportive services for 91 vulnerable individuals. That's ongoing. Some of those adults we do have to place in safe environments. Some are, if they're in family care, we have a MOE that we are obligated to pay to family care every year. But if they're not in the family care system, then that can be very costly to Waushara County. So we do whatever we can to safely maintain folks in the community, or if they are eligible for family care, to get them into those programs. Our long-term support team provides respite pay services to 24 individuals. That's to help them with their benefits, to make sure that they're paying their bills. We contract with CARE Wisconsin, and we're just finishing up a contract with Community Link, which is the other family care organization in Waushara County. So we assist 12 of those individuals right now, plus a number of them are in some of our other community support program. We helped 9 individuals in 2016 with the Alzheimer Caregiver Support Program, and then we still have 1 staff who is a Human Services county staff who works in the Aging and Disability Resource Center. In 2016, we had 74 kids that we served, and that was through assessments, case management, wraparound, OT, occupational therapy, speech therapy. That we do through contracted services or through services for ourselves, respite care, and those for all for kids with disabilities or potential disabilities. What's interesting about that number is that's up from 52 such kids in 2015. So these are programs like Birth to 3, Children's Long-Term Support, those types of programs for kids with disabilities. Why that is, I'm not sure, but we are seeing increase in kids with disabilities. We also had an increase in youth justice referrals. Those are juveniles that have committed crimes. It was up from 66 in 2015 to 90 in 2016. I'm not sure if that's really a rise in crime or if we did see some repeat offenders. I think more time will tell on that. The next bullet, I want to just point out what's interesting about this post-reunification services. We only serve 2 families with that, and then 3 families with in-home safety services. But what's really neat about these programs are these are totally state paid for. So Waushara County has no levy dollars in these programs. Plus, we're able to reimburse ourselves for some of the services we already are providing, that we're already putting levy in. And it really helps keep our out-of-home placements down. So if we can safely keep those kids in their homes, either after they've already been removed, before they're removed, then that is a win-win for everybody. So those are 2 programs that our staff's done a great job of meeting all the requirements to be able to get those funds to be able to help our citizens. 2016, we had 48 adults and children with mental health diagnosis or alcohol and drug abuse issues that we provided case management, medical management. This is our comprehensive community services program. You've heard of us talk about CCS. Again, that's 100% funded by the state of Wisconsin. So we get reimbursed for all of even our administrative costs for that program, which is really, really nice. Some of those folks that weren't eligible, there's a handful that we have to serve through targeted case management, so they're not exactly all CCS, but most of them are. 2016, we also served 35 adults with severe and persistent mental health issues. That's our community support program, and that's a whole bunch of things that we can do with that as well. Symptom medication management, independent living skills, training. We really help with positive and social interactions. The whole idea is to try to keep those folks out of the hospital and, again, stabilize them in the community. What's also neat, I think, about this last year is that we have 3 biweekly activity groups, and one of them is really supported by a consumer who's helping fellow consumers with their computer skills. We just started an art group, one of them. So staff helps, but it's really neat if we can get that peer-to-peer connection, because that's really what usually makes a difference for people. We also have 11 foster homes right now. Of course, we collaborate with the state, private funders, agencies, other counties. We're in a number of regions. All really, the more we can provide resources across county lines, the more we can, again, maximize our resources here and elsewhere and try to keep our costs down. One such program, I'll just put a shout out to the Community Response Program. This is a grant through the Children's Trust Fund. We've had it for a number of years now. It's Green Lake, Waushara, Adams, and Marquette. Green Lake oversees that funding and that grant, and that provided case management services to 44 families in Waushara County families in 2016. So that's really, again, a benefit that is run through a grant through Green Lake County, and we're happy recipients. And of course, we do our part too to do the report writing and those kind of things. But just wanted to really let you all know that we try to get into those kind of agreements as much as we can, because again, it's a win-win-win situation. And then finally, you know about our Back to School Bash, our Blue Ribbon Kids Day. Really try to do those community events. We have a lot of community support for those programs, so that's great to see. In addition, we co-chair the Waushara County Prevention incorporated in efforts to really hopefully expand some prevention so that you don't see those high-end costs on the other end. So we do have a number of guests here. I think it's always important that if we can have people that have been benefited by our services, that we allow them to talk to you about that and see how they benefited and kind of recommendations they might have for the county. Before I do that, does anyone have any questions or concerns or things that struck you in any of this that was presented?
Could you, by any chance, email the county board members when you're going to have your next graduation for drug court? If you get a chance or have a chance to go up and see it, I really recommend that you do, because it's very enlightening.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions or concerns before we...
Already asked some questions.
Okay, well then I think we'll start with Gabe. If you want to come up and just tell the board whatever you'd like to say.
I have the pleasure of introducing Gabe. Gabe,
Sure.
Gabe entered our department in 2013. We were quite concerned about him. He was getting into a lot of trouble and having a lot of conflict at home with his mom. So he's here to tell you his story, along with one of his major supporters, social worker Maggie Fensky, and kind of where he's ended up today in a big, huge success.
All right. My name's Gabe, and yeah, I got into a lot of trouble when I was younger. And started in 2013. I was fighting with my mom a lot, and I was on the run from my mom and just running away from home and all that stuff. And then I got into the social workers. They tried to put me in a different home and whatnot. And yeah, they first put me in my sister's house, and then hold on. Sorry, I'm very nervous, just so you guys know. I'm so sorry. I gotta calm down a little bit. But I first started off getting in trouble with my mom, and then I got in trouble in school. I got a lot of, detentions, all that kind of stuff, and then I was kicked out of school. And I was kicked out, went to my sister. Did I go to my sister? Yeah, I went to my sister's house, and I lived there. I went to school there. And then I also got kicked out of there, and that was horrible. That was bad. And then after that, I went there to yes, I went back to my mom's house. I still kept getting in trouble and whatnot. And then Maggie sent me to kind of like a detention center, but it kind of wasn't. What was it called? Shelter care. Yeah, that's what it was. And when I was there, I kind of like had a lot of time to think. I was there for about a month and sat my birthday in there, and it wasn't very fun. And then I went to Paul and Linda's house, the foster parents in Janesville. They tried getting me into school, but it didn't work out. No school wanted me. They were like, yeah, this kid's not going to do anything with his life. And, I was like, whatever. These people can say what they want, but I'm going to do it somehow, some way. So then I thought about going to Job Corps. And Job Corps is free for people who are having troubles with like life in general, and they don't go to school and whatnot. So I went there. I first had to pay off all my fines because I had a lot of them. So I got 2 jobs, not just one like normal teenager. I had to get 2, pay off all that. I worked at Piggly Wiggly, and then I worked maintenance at a hotel, and that was fun. I did that for about 6 months, and then I went to Job Corps. And when I was in Job Corps, I really did really great. I became a CPP leader at Job Corps, and it's kind of like a college. You get your GED and then like a trade. You get certified in a trade, and you live on campus, and you gotta follow their rules. And there's leaders, like students are the leaders of the dorms and whatnot, but there are people supervising it, like employees, and they like pick out the leaders and whatnot. And I was picked to be a CPP leader. And a CPP leader brings in all the new kids and shows them around and, gets them used to it. So I did that for a little bit. And then I also became a welder. I started taking my certifications in welding. and I got certified in stick welding, wire feed welding, and TIG welding, and I did that all within 4 months. Usually it takes people around like a year or two to get certified and all that, and I did that. I worked as hard as I could. I did all the paperwork and all the homework in my dorm, and I welded all day, and yeah, I was going hard at it. And then I had to get my GED, and usually you have to be 18 to get your GED, but since I was in this program, they said I could get it when I turned 17. So I started classes doing that, like learning and whatnot. And the last grade I completed was 8th, so I was freaking out. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to pass it. Like, it's, you know, it will be hard. But yeah, I passed them all in August, right when I turned 16 or 17. Yeah, right when I turned 17, I passed them all in like in a 3-week span, because there was 3 or 5 tests. There was 5 tests, and I took 2 a week, and I passed them all on my first try. And yeah, it was tough and whatnot, but I made it. And now I'm working over at Mayville Engineering, and I just turned 18 like 2 weeks ago. And I've been working there for 6 months, so I got in there when I was 17. I came out of Job Corps, and when I applied at a little checkbox thing, like we have to do it on our phone, so it's kind of touchy, and it said, "Are you 18?" And I like hit no, but when I scrolled, I must have hit yes, I'm 18. So they brought me in there, had me do the weld tests and whatever, and at the end they were like, "You're 18, right?" I'm like, "No, I didn't put that on my thing, did I?" And they were like, "Yeah." So my boss said, "All right, well, I'm going to go see what I can do because you're a really good welder." I was like, "All right." So then 2 weeks later, I got a call, and I've been working there and making $15 an hour, and I just got a raise 2 weeks ago. Now I'm making 16, so I want to go back to school to get my CWI, Certified Welding Inspector license and all that. So, yeah. And all throughout this whole thing, I had, for support, I didn't really have my parents or nothing, but I had my sister, and Maggie was a really good help. She would always send me like snacks and stuff, and Job Corps, you can't go off campus. They don't let you, and they don't let you go off campus. Only once in a while they'll let you off, just to go to like Walmart. They'll take a big bus, and they have everything supervised and whatnot. It's all government funded, and yeah, so I didn't really have snacks or nothing like that. So she always bought me stuff like that, and my sisters always sent me it. But yeah, I was leader in there, and then also when I was doing all the welding certifications and stuff, they decided to put me in the 5th dorm, Dorm 5, and that was for privileged students, the best behaving kids. And I was like the first, I think I was the first or second 16-year-old to make it into that dorm, and they were really amazed about how well I did. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Great.
Hello everyone, I'm Curtis Jelinski. I am a recovery addict. Tomorrow actually is my 22 months sober. I guess I want to give you a little brief history and then where I am at today. So my first drink I had when I was 8 years old, and looking back on it now, I knew right then, just from the feeling, it was for me. You know, it made me, you know, more acceptable. You know, I was okay with the situation. And that slowly progressed. By the time I was 17, it was my personal goal to try everything, from heroin to cocaine. I mean, literally everything. So at that point, you can just tell how much my ego and my self-centeredness was already operating throughout me. I had no respect for the law. I was put on probation when I was 20, and that was off and on for 20 years. 2 years ago I got off when I went to treatment. So pretty much in 2010, I had gotten a hold of Sue Szymanski through AODA, and she sent me to NOVA, which is a outpatient program or inpatient program in Oshkosh. And you know, it was kind of, I thought I was doing good, you know. I was like, oh yeah, you know, maybe this is what I need, you know. But I got out, stayed clean for about a month, and I lost everything I went there for. I went there for my family, for my kids, and the first thing I lost was my family. I didn't do it for me. 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to get a hold of her again, and because I paid back the county the loan, I got funded again. And looking back on it, I can't be more grateful for where I'm at today. When I got into treatment this last time, they told me straight out that I had to get honest, I had to get open-minded, I had to be willing to go to any lengths, and I had to do it for me. Like day 2 there, I thought I was at the wrong place because I was hearing voices, you know, I was that delusional. And then they're like, no, 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 don't go, you know, everything's good, we're gonna get you through this. So that's where a lot of my feelings had to get worked on. I had to face myself. I had to learn to love myself. So after that 28-day program, they have an in-house outpatient program, which is 3 additional months, the TERRA program. And there, after your first week, it's mandatory for you to get work. The counselor at that time would always push their clients to STEP Industries, which is a recovery-based company that I was not for. I didn't like anything about it. So I struggled with that. My counselor was like, well, take things slow, you know, why rush, you know. So I listened, you know, I learned to listen to people, listen to the counselors. So eventually, after like 3 months there, I became a key person, and you know, you're in charge of your own line, so it's like a line supervisor. Excelled at that. It's minimum wage, so at that time, I have 2 kids without their mother. She passed away, so I was like, I really gotta financially get more money, you know. So I went out, made good money, but I wasn't happy. I learned that the people I was working with really made me happy. Money really didn't have a value to what I get from working with other people in recovery. So I came back and right away became a line supervisor again. And 3 months ago, I got promoted to plant manager. Again, can't express my gratitude. 2 months ago, I got certified in recovery life coach. STEP also runs a sober living program. So now, with that coaching degree, I am able to work one-on-one with actual clients that live in the sober living programs and the programs I went through myself. So that's huge. And that's pretty much, I thought I'd never be able to thank Waushara County for everything they have done. And I'm not just talking about AODA. I'm talking about the court system. I'm talking about probation and parole. I used to really resent who I was and what I've done, but I've accepted it for the fact that that's made me the person I am today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank Gabe and Curtis for coming tonight. It's not easy for folks to come, you know, to a county board meeting and kind of give their story, but I think it's a prime examples of what your investment does for people and how people can grow and change, and that's what we're about in Human Services just to give you a couple faces with some of these many numbers. So, do you have any other questions or comments for us? Thank you very much.
Congratulations to both of you. Good job. Thanks, Dawn. All right, next we'll go on to discussion and possible motion action item, the appointment or / replacement of the county clerk. Please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, as was discussed at the last meeting, our county clerk, Melanie Stake, is going to be resigning effective September 29th, so at the end of September. And according to Wisconsin statutes, the duty to appoint, you have a couple of options, and maybe I should pass this to our corporation counsel because she's more familiar with the statutory options that you have.
Sure, Bob. So, although the county clerk is an elected position, by statute it is one that if it becomes vacant during a term, the filling of it is left to the county board. So you can require a special election, which would take place at a next regular election prior to the normal county clerk cycle. You can, or you can decide to appoint somebody. If you decide you want to appoint somebody, there's lots of different options. You can take nominations who would be a good person to appoint. You can advertise for applications, look through the applications, appoint somebody in that manner. The executive committee did discuss it a little bit on Monday at their meeting. Melanie had indicated that she would like the county board and the committee to consider possibly appointing Megan, who is her deputy clerk and has been there for about 2 years. So that would be an option. But so your options really are if you're going to have an election or if you're going to do an appointment, and then how you want to go about that.
And the recommendation from the executive committee was to appoint Megan Capp because she's no relation to Mike. So she should be.
I move that, no.
So that was the recommendation from the executive committee, that we go ahead right now or this month, appoint Megan, and then she will take over when Mel leaves. I think she's been doing a lot of, or really helping out Mel all along, so I think she's very qualified. So.
I will make the motion to appoint Megan Capp, the county clerk.
Okay, motion by Bob Waddell, do it second by, we can't do you, Mike. Second by Mark Kirschner. Nice try, Mike.
That's effective September 29th or September 3rd.
Yes, yes. So, would you like a roll call vote, Ruth, or can we just do?
Can I just ask,
Oh, you have a question?
when would be her next election if she was running? Would it be a year from now or 3 years?
Yes, sir.
So it's a 4-year term?
It is a 4-year term now.
So she would serve out.
Yep, she would
Yes.
serve out the rest of the term then
Yes.
under this approach, and then we have to run it back.
And
with
up
that
for
term.
her, yeah, okay.
By appointing her now, this gives us the opportunity to get the applications or, advertise the deputy's position so that we can get a deputy in here as soon as possible.
I guess I feel it only makes sense. She's in that
Yep.
office and knows the routine and everything like that. But I'd have one caveat that I'd like to put on there. Keep the candy dish full.
Do you have any questions of Megan? Do you have anything you want to ask Megan?
Yes, I'd like to, Megan, I'd like to hear what your background and your education is.
Sure. Come on up.
Okay. So I've worked with the county for a little bit over 3 years now. I started in the zoning office as an administrative secretary, so I was in that office for about a year. And then that's when I took the deputy clerk position. So I've been in the office with Mel for about 2 years now. My education background is I have bachelor's degrees in music education and elementary education, and then I also just last May finished up my master's in business administration. So in the couple of years that I've been working with Mel, we've had a presidential election cycle, which was really interesting with the recount. So I had a lot of experience with elections and kind of hit the ground running learning elections because of that. And I guess I've had a lot of mentoring and learning from Mel over the last couple of years. I've learned a lot on the finance end of things, with finance currently being in our office. With Sarah being on maternity leave last summer, she kind of had to get me up to speed very quickly on all of her duties, so I filled in for that last summer for the 6 weeks while she was gone during budget season. I don't know if you have any other questions or specific things you're looking for.
Thank you.
All right, do you want an I know vote or just the regular? Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Megan Cap as the next county clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. All right, consideration and possible action on the following resolutions. I'm sorry. Whoops.
Resolution number 13-8-17, a resolution ordering the issuance of tax deeds on certain tax foreclosed property.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Weddy, second by Cap. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution number 14-8-17, acknowledgement of Jean Armstrong's service to and retirement from Waushara County.
And we have decided, at executive that we would be reading these, and
I
let
can
you
read.
go ahead.
I can read this one if you want. Whereas the County of Waushara wishes to take this opportunity to express its appreciation to Jean Armstrong for 17 years of service and dedication to Waushara County, and whereas acknowledgement is given to Jean for the conscientious and dedicated service she gave the citizens of Waushara County in the County Treasurer's Office. Now therefore be it resolved by the Waushara County Board of Supervisors that the County Board, on behalf of the grateful residents of Waushara County, does hereby commend Jean for her many years of service and contributions to the County Treasurer's Office. Every good wish goes to Jean for a long and enjoyable retirement filled with contentment and good health.
Motion by King,
I'll second.
second by Weddy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution number 15-8-17, acknowledgement of Deborah Behringer's service to and retirement from Waushara County.
Okay. Whereas the County of Waushara wishes to take this opportunity to express its appreciation to Deborah Behringer for more than 28 years of service and dedication to Waushara County, and whereas acknowledgement is given to Deborah Behringer for the conscientious and dedicated service she gave the citizens of Waushara County during her years as administrative coordinator. Now therefore be it resolved by the Waushara County Board of Supervisors that the County Board, on behalf of the grateful residents of Waushara County, does hereby commend Deborah Behringer for her long, distinguished, and conscientious service. Every good wish goes to Deborah Behringer for a long and enjoyable retirement filled with contentment and good health. And we have a motion by Bernadette Krebs and a second by Mark Kirschner. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. And next, we are going to do some appointments. Economic Development Corporation, we are going to appoint Dennis Apps from Coloma, and he is taking the place of the current member, John Prindle. Motion by King to approve, second by Waddell. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The next appointment is for Planning and Zoning. Fred Gellerup will no longer be on the Planning and Zoning Committee. He has some health issues, and so Carl Grizar has been appointed, if you accept him, to fill Fred's term from August 2017 to 2018. And in your packet, you have information from Terry, concerning his qualifications. And so now I'll entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the appointment of Carl Risser to the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Motion by Weddy, second by Cap.
I can second that. Oh, back to that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next, we have designating August, proclamation designating August as Child Support Awareness Month. And the proclamation is whereas Governor Scott Walker has proclaimed August as Child Support Awareness Month, and whereas Wisconsin's Child Support Program ensures that parents take responsibility for the care and well-being of their children, supports the involvement of parents in their children's lives, and provides important services to both custodial and non-custodial parents. And whereas child support agencies in Wisconsin collect more than $938 million in child support in 2016, and whereas upholding the child support program is an effective investment in Wisconsin's future, as the program increases self-sufficiency, reduces child support poverty, and has a positive effect on children's well-being. Now therefore, we, the members of the Waushara County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim August 2017 to be Child Support Awareness Month. Increase public awareness of the importance of providing children with the support they need and the services offered by the Child Support Program through its county child support agency here in Waushara County benefits Wisconsin children and families, dated this 15th day of August 2017.
Motion to accept that designation.
Motion by Waito. Second by Bernadette. All right, and Kim is here. Do you have anything you want to say, or you just want to act this? Okay, thank you. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Can we brag about Kim for a minute here? At last month's executive meeting, Kim reported to the committee that her department was able to close a case that was more than 35 years old. And when they closed it, it resulted in the collection of $38,000 in back child support. So Kim is up there doing her job. Thank you, Kim. If in your committees, if someone is doing something great and you want to report it here, or just, briefly give a shout out like we did for Kim, I think that should be encouraged. So, and Everett's not, we have to stay here forever because Everett's not here to adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
No, wait 1 second. Next, Larry.
I just wanted to make a comment. Bob alluded to the fact that sometimes people don't get to committee meetings. And part of the problem is not knowing about the meeting sometimes. If the tablet is down, you don't know about it. You don't always check it. I don't always check mine every day. And so sometimes the committee meetings get missed. I know that the clerk has the capability of, because she sent messages doing that, of indicating whether the message has been read or not. And I'm wondering if she couldn't do that with these notices as well.
Well,
That way you would know whether you
can or
can
not.
expect a quorum and stuff like that.
Yeah, but at some point in time, Larry, I think we have to take responsibility. Like the library meeting the other day, we know 3 meetings ahead of time the date of those meetings. And so, if you have a calendar, I just write it in on my calendar. And then if I don't have my minutes or something, I give a call and say, hey, I didn't, is there an
The reason
agenda?
I didn't attend that meeting was because of an injury.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
wasn't
I'm
able-
just using that as an
I
example.
wasn't
The
able to
same
drive.
thing is true with highway. I inadvertently deleted my minutes and my agenda that Kathy had sent to me, but I knew I had a meeting on the second Thursday because that's when we always meet. And I gave her a call and she sent it again. And so I know that some of you are having a problem getting to, but I guess I don't know what to do about it.
Well, first of all, my comments were not directed at any individual. They were broad-based. I'm thinking about a number of options to try to communicate, and obviously email is one of them. That's a good idea about a return receipt requested on an email communication. It may very well be for some of you who have, I would assume all of you have cell phones, perhaps we could also add to that mix a text message the day before. That way we kind of carpet bomb you with messages, and that will ensure that at least you're aware of the committee meetings, hopefully a few days beforehand.
And I would like to go along with it. My cute little machine here didn't operate for a long time on bringing up the emails that were on here. And so, being dedicated like I am, I went in and I looked, and the meeting that I was supposed to go to was the last Monday of July, which was the 31st. Well, I got to the courthouse on the 31st, and it was all locked up. There was no meeting. They'd moved the meeting ahead and put it on the 4th day instead of on the 5th, and so I missed it. And if there'd have been any email that would have come to me on my regular email or anything, I'd have been fine, but now it's working just perfect. Right after that happened, it took off, and evidently I scared it when I talked to it after. But if they could just, like, I have a plethora of emails, and just to have it come on this one, if it messes up, I'm out of luck. Whereas if I got two different emails, this one and another email of mine, I would have been there. So.
I think, like Bob said, maybe a text message would be good, because I don't always look at my emails on the computer. The other day I had like 400 or 500 of them that I hadn't. But it's all junk stuff, so. Phone, I carry that with me constantly, so and most of us, I don't know if everybody does, but most have cell phones. Or even a landline, just call and say, hey, there's a meeting.
I know this past week when I was working in Michigan, I called and talked to Megan, and I just had her send it, and Mel, and had them send it over on my own personal email, because I didn't have a tablet with me over there, and I was able to get it. I had the county board executive and everything like that.
Okay, I guess talk to your department heads on the committees you're on, and if you want it.
I got one suggestion. I mentioned it a while ago, and we still haven't, either that or I was absent that day, but a group photo.
Yes, that was my next thing.
Okay.
That was my
I mean,
next thing.
as soon as Everett gets back, I'd like to have him
Yeah,
and everybody,
Katie-
if possible.
Katie said she would do it if you could come at 6:30 maybe next time, and we'll send a reminder with the minutes. But if you could come at 6:30, Katie said she would do a group photo.
Because there are several of them on there, but there's a lot of them that have been missed a lot of years, and a lot of people are no longer with us that did serve on the county board. So it's just kind of nice for future, say that was,
I talked to Katie on Saturday. All right.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Time to go west.
You're gonna,
My computer.
you're gonna be here for zoning next week or no? You will.
I'll come on my computer.
For the on-site too, or-
Oh, text message.
Who's the new guy, do you know him?
No idea. No idea.
Y'all are up, quitting?
No, he's not sick, he's not, he's over by his daughter.
Yeah, he isn't.
Lonely.
Not good, Freddie's, they said he'd probably never leave his daughters, go to a nursing home or